Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be trying to explain the relationship to others. Think about that for a minute, guys. If you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So you were in a narcissistic relationship, or perhaps you're still in one, and your head is spinning. You are looking for clarity. You're looking for answers. You're essentially looking for somebody to bounce things off of, to figure out if the relationship is or was a stable relationship. We now know that any relationship with a narcissist, it's not stable. It's topsy-turvy, and it is depleting your resources. These relationships are one-way tickets to Destructionsville. It's what they are. The narcissist knows this, and when you are trying to explain the relationship to virtually anybody who has not experienced a narcissistic relationship, it's like speaking a foreign language. They will not be able to wrap their head around it. Now, I will give you many illustrations of this. I am letting you know firsthand, this video is to educate you, to empower you, to let you know that there are people out there who do understand what you went through. I personally can communicate with individuals and know within a few moments where they are on the healing path. That is a fact. It is the way it is that way is because I've done it myself. And I can just tell by communicating with individuals where they are, how much work they need to do, and if they're on the right path. It's very simple to dissect once you understand the questions they ask, how they answer the questions that perhaps I would ask them, and where their state of mind is. Why I say that is because when you are alone and you are isolated post-narcissistic relationship and there is no support system in place, you have a couple options. One, to dig in deep to within yourself, which is what I did, and to discover exactly who you are and why you entered that relationship, why you stayed so long, and now how to put yourself back together. That's number one. Or number two, you can not heal properly. And this could go on for months, years, or decades because you didn't get the wisdom, you're not getting the education, and you never quite figured out what the relationship was built on. It was built on smoke and mirrors. It was a narcissistic relationship. That is exactly what we're discussing here today in this video. So having said that, when you are alone, and let's be real, when you were in the relationship with the narcissist, many times you could be sitting right next to them and you never felt more alone. That's just how these things are. The narcissist wants to consume your energy. And whether you're sitting on the couch watching a documentary with them, whether you're in a car going to the beach with them, whether you are barbecuing with them, whether you are attending an event with them, many times, if not most times, you are experiencing gaslighting, stonewalling, silent treatment, rage fits. You are getting treated poorly than you would by virtually anybody on the planet. Now, having said all these things, when you are trying to explain the relationship to others, let's say you're speaking with a therapist as an example. If the therapist is trained in narcissistic abuse, sure, they know what they're doing. Perhaps if you're fortunate and the therapist that you're seeing actually experienced a narcissistic relationship, that's the person you want to be communicating with. Now again, I'm not a doctor. I'm just letting you know firsthand that the language we speak post-narcissistic relationship after you've healed and or after you are well on the healing path, it is a special language. It becomes a superpower once you come through the fire and rise through the ashes like a phoenix. In other words, once you put yourself back together. Believe me when I tell you, if you put the hard work in now, when you really are being challenged, it will pay off immensely down the road. The healing path, again, it's not linear. It takes time. It takes a lot of time. But in your time, you will heal. If you process childhood wounds, you process the relationship, you practice radical acceptance, you understand that, in fact, you did have to go through that relationship. There was no other way. And bear this in mind. There is no such thing as a coincidence on the planet. Everything is meant to happen the way it happens. If you were meant to be somewhere else right now on the planet, you would be there. But where you are right now is exactly where you're meant to be. Now, the narcissistic relationship, when you are trying to explain it to somebody, say it is a therapist and they don't have the education, or it's a coworker or a friend or a family member, they're not going to get it. They just won't. And it's not their fault. They just don't have the experience or the education on what you are experiencing. Now, many times when you don't get your first light bulb moment, in other words, when you are still in the narcissistic fog or you don't know what narcissism is, you are scrambling. You're looking for someone to bounce your thoughts off of. Maybe it is a therapist, maybe it's a coworker, maybe it's a longtime friend, and you're trying to explain to this individual or individuals what is going on in your relationship. These people will be there for you for a period of time until they can't be there for you any longer. Why? I'll tell you why. Because again, the narcissistic relationship, it's foreign to many people. Many people just see the narcissist, the shell of the narcissist. Picture, if you will, you just bought a used car and it has a brand new paint job. Well, that's the exterior of the narcissist. The interior, it has a motor that doesn't run. And when you're trying to explain this to, let's say, friends, like something's wrong with this person, I can't get it, like I'm being treated so poorly, and then they won't be able to wrap their head around it because they don't understand it and it's not their fault. Now, having said all of these things, when you finally do find somebody who understands what narcissistic abuse is about because they've experienced it, not just because they've read it in a book or perhaps watched a few videos on it. I'm talking they really know what they're talking about. When you get and connect with people like this again is a superpower. It is when you can finally exhale and say, oh my goodness, somebody finally understands me. Somebody finally I can explain myself to, and they're gonna get it. They're gonna just get every single word I'm saying because most likely they've experienced it to a different level or the same level that I experienced it. And that is true. That is exactly why you are here on the channel right now. And again, thank you very much for being here. It's because you're craving the wisdom. You're craving the knowledge. You are part of the community. You are putting yourself back together, or you already are back together and you're contributing to the newbies. In other words, the people that have just found the channel and the people that perhaps this is the first video they ever watch. Those people, my heart goes out to you, as it does go out to each and every one of us on the channel in the community, because we are all on the healing path. We're all headed in the same direction. We are simply taking different footsteps. Now, when you are believing that you are completely alone and isolated, because perhaps maybe you were, I was, and you're looking for a solution, you're looking for someone just to drop a nugget of wisdom on you, to open your eyes and at least point you in the right direction. When you're waiting for that or hoping for that or researching it on YouTube or Google or another search platform, you are really looking to save yourself. I don't say that lightly. The reason why, again, is because when you are explaining the relationship to other individuals, you're hoping for someone to just say, yes, I understand that, I get it, that's fine. But you really have to look far and wide to find these individuals. And again, like I'm saying on this video, when you found my channel or other people's channels that know what they're talking about on the narcissistic abusive cycle, it's like you were in a desert searching for an oasis, and then boom, there it was. That's exactly what you needed. You needed to interact with the community. You needed to feel that you belonged, which you do. You needed to get the wisdom and to consume videos and learn how to journal, to introspect, to how to meditate, to process things, to read, to do everything you can to put yourself back together, but also, more importantly, to compare your stories with other individuals. And then you figure out, oh my gosh, I am not alone. There are so many people that have experienced the same thing that I experienced. It's true. I'm one of them. Now, when you get this oasis in the middle of the desert, bear in mind, the narcissist most likely left you in that desert, walking, crawling, scrambling for anything, any form of life that you could resonate with. And essentially what you needed for this analogy is you needed water, which is life, if you really think about it. Having said that, when you found the wisdom, you found my channel, you're like, oh my gosh, this is it. I can now understand what these terms are, what the definitions are, what the glossary is. I understand now what gaslighting is, what object constancy is, what a blame shift is, what the trauma bond is, which is the most difficult thing to break known to man as far as I am concerned. But you must do that. And again, as I mentioned, you must practice radical acceptance and understand that there are people on the planet that do not have your best interest at heart. There are people on the planet that want to take from you. There are people on the planet that want to use you and manipulate you. And again, I'm not trying to trigger you. I'm letting you know this is what people do. The narcissist. They are empty shells. They're hollow. And they care about one person, which is not you. It is certainly themselves. So having said all of these things, trying to explain the relationship to somebody, believe me, you will be bouncing around looking for answers. Maybe it's family members, maybe it's coworkers, maybe it's neighbors, whomever it is. And nobody is going to shed light on this for you unless they have the wisdom, unless they've gone through this cycle themselves. That's the way it works. So why I'm saying this before I close the video out is when you finally get a win, which means Let's say you found my channel, or you finally stumbled upon something that led you to understanding what narcissism is, and then you went down that rabbit hole. That is a huge breaking point in time for you. It's a huge breakthrough. It's when you are beginning to crack the code. It's when you no longer will feel as bad as you did before and or isolated. Yes, there is a long road ahead of you once you get your first light bulb moment about narcissism and what it is and how it affected you for a period of time. There's a mountain of work to do. Believe me when I tell you. Having said that, at least now you found that oasis in the desert. You found that key to unlock the door, which essentially leads to your freedom. You found the pass, the way to get through this tunnel, which is narcissistic abuse recovery. You have to go through it. You can't go around it. Picture, if you will, there's a tunnel in a mountain and you're driving a car. You have to go through that tunnel to get from one side to the other side. And when you enter the tunnel, you can see a tiny little ray of sunshine at the end of it. That's the exit of the tunnel. From the beginning of you entering that tunnel, when you get your first nugget of wisdom, your first light bulb moment, until the end when you rise through the ashes like a phoenix because you've done the hard work, you've shed the tears, you've processed things, and you've practiced so many things about yourself and learned and introspected. That is exactly what I'm talking about. So as I mentioned so frequently, the healing path is not linear. You will have to go through that tunnel, and many times you will have to go through that tunnel alone. That's what I had to do. And I am not comparing anybody's story with anybody's. If you're on the channel and you made it this far in the video, you are an amazing, beautiful, abundant person. You may not see it in yourself now, but I can assure you, you are. I am. And if you were to ask me a few years ago, Andrew, where would you be? Do you think that you could pull this off? Do you think you could save yourself? Again, as I mentioned, I believe yesterday, yes, I knew I would. Was I tested? To my core, specifically January 6th, 2021. But here I am. I've done the hard work. I've studied. I've learned about myself. I've healed childhood wounds. I put myself back together during some of the darkest days on this planet, i.e. C19. Times when I couldn't walk. I couldn't see out of my right eye due to a detached retina. The list goes on and on. We all have our stories, and I am not saying that anyone's story is easier or harder than another. That's not my point. I don't judge anybody. I just create and share wisdom with the community, and my hope is that's what you're doing. So when you are trying to explain the relationship to somebody and you're looking for solutions and or you're looking for answers or someone to resonate with, my hope is you found somebody who has gone through the narcissistic abusive cycle, someone that knows what they're talking about, somebody with empathy, someone who wants to get you across that bridge to the other side, someone that wants to get you through that tunnel to the abundance, the beauty, the light, where you belong. And you will find that person. If you're on the channel, believe me, there are so many of us here. So guys, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning. And remember, no matter where you are on the planet, you are not alone. I know perhaps some of you are alone, but you're not alone. You're part of the community. You're getting stronger each and every day. You're learning, you're growing, you're developing, you're becoming awakened and aware, and you're putting the narcissist in the rear view mirror. And you are now creating boundaries. You are now learning how to say no. You are getting stronger each and every day. I can feel it. I can feel it in the community, and I can sense it in your comments. So guys, God bless you. I love you. Have a great afternoon. I will talk to you tomorrow. All right. Good night, you guys. Bye.